I'm Justin Shackle. This report sponsored by Geico. Great news. There is a quick way you could save money. Switch to Geico. Go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Getting set for a Week 11 Sunday in the NFL. New developments, though, still coming in from Thursday's melee in Cleveland between the Steelers and the Browns. Adam Schefter reports the league will be handing out fines to 10 players after they left the bench area Thursday during the on-field fight between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Additionally, Steelers QB Mason Rudolph is expected to be fined as well.
Bar cam.
49ers tight end George Kittle will miss today's game against the Cardinals.
Stage door bar cam.
Eagles running back Jordan Howard out against the Patriots. It's expected Jay Ajayi will be active and make his 2019 season debut for Philadelphia, though Miles Sanders is expected to see the most carries out of the Eagles' backfield. Cardinals running back Kenyon Drake will start over David Johnson against the Niners. Among the others expected to play, San Francisco's Emmanuel Sanders and the Jets' Le'Veon Bell. Colin Kaepernick held a 40-minute workout yesterday in front of personnel for 8 NFL teams, hoping it was enough for one franchise to take a chance.
I've been ready for 3 years. I've been denied for 3 years. We all know why I came out here and showed you today in front of everybody. We have nothing to hide. So we're waiting for the 32 owners, the 32 teams.
30
Roger
seconds,
Goodell,
30.
All of them to stop running. Stop running from the truth. Stop running from the people.
25 teams were originally scheduled to attend the workout at the Falcons practice facility Saturday, which was coordinated by the NFL, but Kaepernick's camp moved the workout to a local area high school after refusing to sign a broad waiver from the league. Gut-wrenching scene yesterday for Alabama football and quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, who suffered a dislocated right hip in yesterday's 38-7 win.
That's not good for your draft
stock.
Okay, now 1 minute, 1 minute.
Field. His season came to an end, and according to doctors, Tagovailoa also suffered a posterior wall fracture at the lower back socket of the hip. It is expected that Tagovailoa will make a full recovery. 10th-ranked Oklahoma rallied from 25 points down in the second half. They beat number 13 Baylor 34-31. Iowa hands Minnesota its first loss, beating the Gophers 23-19. 6th-ranked Oregon topped Arizona 34-6. Number 7 Utah beat up UCLA 49-3. Baseball, the evidence is mounting against the Houston Astros over whether they've been electronically stealing signs during games. The Athletic obtained emails that Astro officials asked scouts to spy on opponent dugouts and suggest using cameras to steal signs
15 seconds,
prior to the 2017 postseason. This is Justin Shackle.
This is Jim Rome. Join me in the jungle tomorrow at noon Eastern.
We've got your Raiders covered.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
It's Silver and Black today on CBS Sports Radio 1140. And now, here's your host, Scott Gobranson.
Welcome back. Happy Sunday, everybody. It is a football Sunday. It is a Raider Nation Sunday here at the Stage Door Casino. That's right off to Las Vegas. All the beautiful people are here. Give me a shout. Yeah, all right. So you can they're having a good time. You can see them on our video feed. We are streaming live on Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube as well, so you can see what's happening here at Las Vegas's favorite neighborhood bar. If you have not been here before, you need to come on down. 10 TVs. The Raider game will be on with the sound, guys.
Yep.
The sound is not always on in the bar, and that really chaps people's hides because you want to hear the game too. And as always, along with me on this journey are my co-hosts, and that is, of course, Chaz Osborne and Kelly Kreiner. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning. Good morning. Raiders.
Chaz is wearing his shades. He can't handle the lights.
Man, it's bright.
I don't know how you're going to be famous, man.
My future is bright today.
I just figured he was hungover.
Yeah, well, well, maybe if he's not now, maybe later.
This is definitely the first time I've been on the strip at 8 in the morning when it wasn't an all-nighter.
All right, well, we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to start off with a little bit of a rundown of what we got coming. Obviously, the Raiders playing the Bengals today in Oakland.
Yeah.
The 0-9 Bengals. Yep. And we're going to talk to Tyler Dragon. He's the beat writer for the Bengals from the Cincinnati Enquirer. He will be joining us at the top of the second hour. In this hour, we're going to talk a little bit about NFL news to top the story, because even though it's not Raider specific, there is a little Raider tie-in to the mess that was Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns the other night on Thursday Night Football. We're going to talk around that. Also, Raiders defense, the improvement there. They made some additions. Deion Jordan, we're going to talk about him. We're also going to talk about Swearinger and what that means for them as well. Also, we're going to visit with John Viscardi, who is the Director of Operations here at the Stage Door Casino. This is a Raider Nation bar, folks. If you want to come down and be with other Raider fans and be with the nation, you come down here to the Stage Door Casino just off the Las Vegas Strip on Flamingo, right next to Batista's Hole in the Wall, east of the Cromwell. So it's very easy to find. There's a parking lot attached to it. You can't miss it. You got to come on down. $1 bottles of Budweiser, everybody. $1 bottles of Budweiser. Also, $2 quarter-pound hot dogs. I mean, we're going to have that for breakfast, right, guys?
Breakfast dogs.
Can't beat it.
You can't, yeah. In fact, I thought, Kelly, I thought you'd already have one in your hands, but you don't.
Oh, yeah, the fat guy's got to eat the hot dog. Yeah, good job,
Come on now. Come on. All right, so guys, let's start off with a little bit outside the Raider realm, although we're going to tie it in with the Raiders, and that is the Myles Garrett situation. So we see the other night, everybody's familiar with the story now. Obviously, he's been suspended for the remainder of the season for what he did. Let's talk about the incident, number one, and what happened there. So clearly, Myles Rudolph got hit after he got the pass away. So it was unnecessary roughness. It was not called at the time, by the way. But then he grabs Myles Garrett's helmet, and then madness ensues. Of course, everybody's seen the video of Myles Garrett trying to hit Myles, trying to bludgeon Myles Mason. Excuse me. Yeah. I'm thinking of Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett tries to bludgeon Mason. So
the Lyle Alzado rule was in effect. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
is that your tie-in?
because this goes beyond the Lyle Alzado. No, that is not the tie-in. Oh. But guys, what do you think of this? Was this something so egregious that he should serve a longer suspension than the rest of the year?
Well, did Mason Rudolph's frustration instigate it? I mean,
it doesn't matter what the instigation was for this. It's the final product that they're looking at.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody talks about player safety, leading with the helmet, getting hit in the headshots and everything. He ripped his helmet off and then hit him with it. But the optics of this are worse than anything else the NFL's
It's absolutely
seen.
the optics. But at the same time, Mason Rudolph's charging after him again.
Yeah, but okay, so that's why he's getting suspended. I mean, because
Mason Rudolph's not getting suspended.
I mean, I'm sorry, fined. Yeah,
right,
that's why he's getting fined.
But why isn't he getting suspended? Like, I feel like he instigated it. There wasn't a flag for a late hit or roughing. Myles Garrett just took him down to the ground.
There wasn't a flag, though.
I didn't feel like it was a.
No, that was a late hit. That should have been a flag.
He took him down and set him down like it was in a pillow.
No, he didn't. He put his weight on him.
Myles Garrett's got a history of this.
He
hits quarterbacks late all the time. He rarely gets flagged for it, which blows me away because, they're obvious late hits often.
But if Mason Rudolph doesn't come charging after him, Mason Garrett's not going to feel threatened and swing the helmet at him.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that.
Do you honestly think Myles Garrett felt threatened by Mason Rudolph coming after him?
Work with me.
Myles Garrett is a monster.
I'm taking one side. You can take the other side.
Let me say this though. So I agree with you, Chaz. He started the fight, so to speak. But if someone starts a fight with you, does that mean you can pull out a knife and stab? No, it doesn't. You can't.
What kind of fight it is?
No, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the point is that, yes, he started it, but the way in which Myles Garrett went about the fight, he took his helmet off, and then he tried to hit him in the head. Could have very easily killed him or fractured his skull, whatever you want to talk about.
And like Kelly already pointed out, Myles Garrett's been fined, $50,000 already this year for punching a guy and the late hit on Trevor Siemian that knocked him out for the season, right?
Yeah, he's got, like I said, he's got a history of this, and what blows me away is a lot of them don't even get called. But even if you just look at the ones that have, he's that guy that he's going to push that envelope. He's going to get that late hit in. He'd have been a great 70s or 80s Raider. Yep. That's for sure. But but take all that away. He ripped a quarterback's helmet off and hit him on the head with it on the Thursday night game that everyone was watching.
So, but here's the question. The question is does the punishment fit the quote-unquote crime?
No, but you also have to realize you're going to be setting a precedent because the only thing really close to this is the Hainsworth where he stomped on Andre Garrard's head.
Right.
He got 5 games for that. It's funny how they mentioned that it's going to be the rest of the season, including playoffs, and everybody laughed about the playoffs.
Exactly.
I don't think people realize how easy Cleveland's schedule is coming up. Cleveland had a shot at a wild card. That's out the window now.
Right. Now, yeah, when you lose your best defensive player. Now, here's the question, and this is where the Raider tie-in comes in. Vontaze Burfict, okay, even with his history, was in the act of a football play, was charged with targeting, and they ban him they suspend him for the rest of the season. Now tell me how that punishment is the same as this. Now they said indefinite with Garrett. We don't know what that means yet, so that's the grain of salt here. But Vontaze Burfict also came out in The Athletic in an exclusive interview with Vic Tafur to say, expletive and to just go crazy on the NFL if he feels like he was targeted. Now he's got a history. Myles Garrett has a history,
Right.
but never has it been outside of the act of playing football.
No, but the 10th time you get arrested for the same crime somebody does the first or second, you're getting a harder punishment for your 10th arrest. Burfict listen, this is something that's been going on his whole career. You can't really compare the two acts, but it's the fact that it's just multiple times for Burfict's why this is happening, and the fact that he's out there trying to say that anything other than that is just crazy to me.
Well, but here's the question. So is the punishment that you're going to see with Myles Garrett, is that enough? Is it enough just to suspend him for the rest of this regular season and quote-unquote the playoffs? Is that enough? Chaz?
And the court of public opinion, I guess that it remains to be seen. I feel like he's a repeat offender as well, and this year already he's done a few things. So maybe a few more games to start next season, 4 more games, something like that.
Yeah, and I'm in that camp. I think it should be carried over into next season. There has to be. Now he's losing $1 million already.
Right.
Losing his checks, but that's the remainder of his game checks.
It's unprecedented. You just don't hit a guy with a helmet.
Yeah, and that I thought, I think the NFL would have loved to have done 16 games, take out a whole season, but they know that they're never going to get to keep that. It'll go. The Players Association, they're going to fight for their people like they have to, even though Myles Garrett knows he's wrong in this. Myles Garrett knows he should be. Everybody gets this. This is black and white right here. There's just no way you can argue that this shouldn't be it. The NFL's just going to have to try to set the precedent. It's like, okay, we've never seen this. We don't know what a suspension should be. What number are we going with? Like I said, I think they would have loved to have said 16 games.
And you heard him
season.
After the game. He didn't try to make excuses for it. He owned up to it. He
you
said
can't.
Some people can. No. What if he does? What if he says he started it, and he tries to go after him that direction? No, he didn't. He owned up to it.
If he comes out and tries to pass the buck or anything on this, you look like a bigger moron than you do for hitting somebody with their own helmet.
Yeah.
That would be the worst PR imaginable for a player, a team, or everything, if you're trying to justify what you just did.
Right.
No, but here's the other question. Does this forever tarnish Myles Garrett? Will he ever be known for more than this? And is this going to be the career, no matter what, he could win a Super Bowl. Is this going to be the defining part of his career, this incident where he tried to hit somebody over the head with a helmet?
Yes, and it should be. Because if you're that stupid, that something like that's going to stick to you. Like I said, if it would have been on a game that wasn't on TV or anything like that, we would still see this all the time. This was the only game on. This was everybody who's watching football is watching this. And now, like we said, with social media, it's going to be a meme. It's going to be a GIF. It's going to be everything.
Yep.
This is the one thing. He could save the president and win a Super Bowl on the same Sunday, and they're going to lead with him hitting Mason Rudolph over the head with his own helmet.
Yeah. So if he were to go in the Hall of Fame, it would be in the video?
Oh, I guarantee you, if he goes in the Hall of Fame, the first thing you're going to see on most sports channels will be him doing this.
Yeah, there's no doubt. All right, we are going to step aside and take a break. We are live here at the Stage Door Casino. It's the home for Raider Nation, ladies and gentlemen, in Las Vegas. Come on down. 10 TVs, $1 Budweiser bottles, $2 quarter-pound hot dogs. You got to get in here. We are hanging with the nation on the Silver and Black today. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Raiders. We're going to talk about their defense and improvement along the front there. You are listening to the Silver and Black today here on CBS Sports Radio, 1140.
Cowboys take on the Lions.
Radio.
This morning at 10 on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
This is Cliff Branch, former of the Oakland Raiders, 3-time Super Bowl champ, 4-time Pro Bowl, and you listen to the Silver and Black Show.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black today, coming to you live from Raider Nation's bar here in Las Vegas. And that, of course, is the Stage Door Casino right on Flamingo, just east of the Cromwell, next to Batista's Hole in the Wall, if you're familiar with that iconic restaurant across from the Bally's. There's a parking lot here, folks. You can park, so come on down. $1 bottles of Budweiser, $2 quarter-pound hot dogs, right?
Doesn't get any better than
Doesn't
this.
get better than that. Also,
Raider fans.
And not only that, when the Raider game is on here, you'll find something you don't find in Las Vegas, and that is 10 TVs with the Raider game on with the sound up.
Yes.
And you're encouraged to get loud, to scream for your team, right? A lot of these casinos, a lot of these bars, they don't want you to be loud.
What?
That's not what you can do. You can come in here and be loud and be a Raider fan, because that's what it's all about. We also, guys, we want to thank, during the break, Eddie Quintanilla came in. He is a Raider fan, and he is actually – Eddie, stand in front of this camera over here. We're going to put you on our video stream. So Eddie is back up just a little bit there. Yeah, there he is. He's wearing the Tim Brown jersey.
Yeah.
If you're watching the feed,
Old
there's
school
Eddie. Eddie is an iron worker, union iron worker, working on the stadium, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a hand. He's building the stadium for the Raiders to get here, so we want to thank Eddie for coming out. He's in here with the crew, so we will take care of him too. Hey, Mark, do me a favor. Would you get him a Budweiser for us? All right,
Yeah.
thank you. We're going to get you a Budweiser on us. All right. Okay, guys, so let's jump in here with the Raiders and defense specifically. The defense is getting better. It had to get better, right? You're on the bottom rung there.
Don't say it.
Come on.
Can't get any worse.
What were they before?
Oh, they weren't Tampa Bay bad, but they were bad.
They were bad. So we see the defense here coming on, doing better. The Charger game, now again, only caveat I want to make, and Raider fans get a little angry when I say this, the Chargers' offensive line was what?
Oh, it was trash.
There we go. There's Kelly with his trash for the day. Okay,
And
so
they lost Okung halfway through.
through the game.
So it went from bad to even worse.
It did, but when you face that situation, you expect the team to do well, right?
Yeah.
And so they did. They came through. They had an opportunity because of attrition on that offensive line for the Chargers, and they took advantage of it. We saw Clelin Ferrell have his best game thus far, correct? That was very encouraging. We talked to Preston Buckner. Chaz and I did on Silver and Black tonight on Tuesday night, 6 to 7 p.m.
Yep.
And he said, look, there's a lot of things happening with Ferrell that you don't see because it's not a sack. It's happening on the inside. He's getting technique. He's doing a lot of things. So if you guys look at this defense, and they've had some additions, we'll get to that in a second, but what is the most encouraging thing you see up front and with the pass rush with this Raiders squad?
For me, I mean, like you said, I mean, as long as you're getting pressure, it's gonna lead to sacks. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You see PFF, they're big on, like when they do their gradings, they're big on pressures being almost as important as sacks. Right. Because, just because you don't sack the quarterback doesn't mean you don't cause a bad play, you don't cause a negative throw. And they're finally starting to get consistent pressure. In some of the games before, there'd be like one or two drives to where you're getting absolutely nothing. Then you're seeing the next one's going to be a 3-and-out where they're all over the place. It's just they need a consistent pressure because the sacks haven't been there. But as long as you get consistent pressure, you can still put the offense in negative plays, put them behind the chains, make them go third and long.
Right, and they're still working. They're still working hard. They're not getting frustrated. Like I talked about, they're not walking off the field with their head down after the team scores or anything like that. They're ready to get back out there. They're ready to work hard, and now they're starting to see the fruits of their labor. They're starting to get to the quarterback. They're starting to pile up some numbers, and that's just gonna when you keep doing good things are going to happen.
Well, Chaz, and that's the thing, right? Fans just get frustrated because they want quick process, but with young players, sometimes it takes time.
Yeah, and I think in this society, everybody's looking for numbers, right? You want to see the numbers. You want to see the sack numbers. You gave Clelin Ferrell 10 sack, over-under for the year, so you want to see him getting close to that. And Arden Key and Max Crosby been a nice surprise. But all these guys are just working. They're working hard. They're making a push towards the quarterback. They've all got great energy, and eventually it's going to pay off, and now we're starting to see that.
Okay, so this week, though, the Raiders added to that defensive front. Of course, Arden Key broke his foot or ankle, and so he's out for the season. They needed some help up front. Benson Mayowa has been a great addition to this team, really leads the team in sacks, has more sacks than Khalil Mack. Go figure. at this point in the career. But they added Dion Jordan. Dion, of course, third overall player taken back in 2013 by the Miami Dolphins out of Oregon. And Kelly is our player personnel expert, draft expert here. But let me go through this timeline, because I want you to tell me, Kelly, if this is going to continue or if this is maybe his last chance and he comes around. I mentioned 13 drafts. It's 2014. He's suspended for performance-enhancing drugs. All right. He also fails a second drug test that same year. 2015, he misses the whole season for PEDS again. He didn't fail the test for Adderall. He got caught taking Adderall, but he had an exemption for it, but the exemption had expired. Okay, so call it a clerical thing or whatever, but he didn't do it, his responsibility. So he was suspended for the remainder of 15. 2016, he's reinstated, never plays for Miami. 2017, comes back for the season, fails a physical. 2018, signs with the Seahawks, okay, plays 5 games, 10 tackles, 4 sacks. 2019, this year, May 14th, suspended for Adderall again, and his exemption expired again, okay? So, and then November 5th, he signed by the Raiders. So, Kelly, here's the question. What are we going to get with Dion Jordan?
I don't think you have any idea what you're going to get. I mean, the guy can rush the passer. He's a body. I mean, you've got nothing invested in him. So, I mean, he's definitely worth the gamble because he's got the talent to actually do something. But, I mean, you just went down that whole list. He's one screw up away from being out of the league permanently. So it's like you're definitely bringing the guy and you're going to see what you get. But he's never going to be somebody you're investing heavy in. He's never going to be a cornerstone of your defense, right? You know? And it's funny for me because when they brought it up, it's like they passed on him once. They had the 3rd pick. They traded it to Miami. Right. You know? And at that draft, everybody was shocked because it was Lane Johnson was going 3 to Miami. I mean, everybody's like, oh, this is for Lane Johnson. Then the Dion Jordan, everybody's like, what? You know, Dion Jordan was the #1 defensive end in that draft. He blew up the combine, you know. Former tight end when he went to Oregon. The guy's an athletic freak. Right. But you want to talk about something that's trash, go back and look at that draft. No, from top to bottom, that draft.
It did not work out well.
You know, you take DeAndre Hopkins out of that first round, it's a who's who, a who's that. Yeah. I mean, it's terrible.
But you talk about the investment, and I'm guessing the Raiders aren't investing that much. It's probably a minimum make-good contract, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a free roll. It's just a little bit of cash.
A few game checks.
And like we talked about, you know, maybe a change of scenery. I mean, it's probably more of a reality check of a team saying we don't want you, and hopefully that, you know. And there's plenty of examples of guys getting a second chance and making the most of it. I mean, you remember Chris Carter, his first time, you first go around in the league with Philadelphia, he was drinking, drug use. The Eagles cut him, right? And the Vikings picked him up. They put him in a program. And then, you know, he went on to be the player that he is. And so, you know, hopefully Dion Jordan wants to be that as well.
Yeah, Fox Sports just cut Chris Carter again
off
their broadcast. But, again, this is Silver and Black Today coming to you live from the Stage Door Casino, the home for Raider Nation on Sundays or whatever day the Raiders play. Come on down, 10 TVs, $1 bottles of Budweiser, $2 quarter-pound hot dogs. It is the place to go. Look for the big Raider van outside. We tweeted out earlier the Raider van. It's awesome. You cannot miss it. That shows you how dedicated Stage Door Casino is to being a home for Raider Nation when you want to come down and watch the game. Okay, guys, with the few minutes we have left before the break, the pass rush for the Raiders. Now, we talked about Dion Jordan joining that. They've had 15 sacks in the last 5 games. Before that, they had 5 in the first 4. Coverage has been better in the defensive backfield. It's still a work in progress, right? And now they got injuries. But Gunther said he emphasized in training camp and early in the season working on the inside and not so much about the pass rush. Is that finally paying off? Are they softening that middle? P.J. Hall's had a great year and sneaky year on the inside and is doing really well. Is that going to pay off now coming up against a game like Cincinnati today?
Well, against Cincinnati today, the 3 of us should be able to get a sack because this could be the worst offensive line in the history of sports. And, I mean, like, I've seen high school offensive lines with more talent than the Cincinnati one. But, I mean, like you said, it's a work in progress. They're getting the system. They're going through the system. You know, for me, I want to see him do it against a good line. I want to see him do it against, you know, a better team. You know, we're not going to see that today. Right. But you just need steady progression. You know, in the next couple games coming up, schedule, you know, the schedule's not horrible for the rest of the season. You know, they can definitely make a run, but you're going to see better teams and better lines, and we need to see that progression continue, or it's just, hey, you know, the schedule got easy, they hammered out. because that's the thing. You can only play who's on your schedule. So you crush the bad teams. Then what do you do against the good ones?
Yeah, and as long as we see that maximum effort like you're talking about. The defensive line helps the DBs. The safeties help the linebacker. You know, it's a whole work. It's a whole team effort. So like you're saying, you know, is it just on the defensive line? No. We got to see everybody working as a cohesive unit. And I think they're really starting to do that.
Well, they are. And you have to think that even though, again, it doesn't matter. You play who you play. So they play a Chargers offensive line that is decimated and got worse during the game. But they executed well. So from a confidence, especially with a young team, with a bunch of young draft picks, most of that line is only in their second year, right? Second or first year, and then you have a couple veterans mixed in.
Yeah.
So to me, that gain in confidence going against now another bad team, and then, of course, you have the Jets, and they really need to do it. They'll get a big test against the Chiefs on December 1st as well, which I think is the next time they'll face a really stout line.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, that's a divisional game. The teams know each other. Your division. We saw it last week with Atlanta and the Saints. Your divisional games are always tougher because you know the team so much better. So they know what they're going to do. They know, the Raiders know what they have to do.
Yep.
And they're going to have to get that consistent pressure. We're going to see the same thing we saw in the second quarter of the last game they played.
That's a tough one in Kansas City as well. Are we going to see Isaiah Johnson? Is he going to get some game time? A little action today? I haven't heard.
I have not seen if he's active. We'll see if he was active.
Yeah.
Last week didn't play, right?
Right.
So we'll see if he gets any time. DJ Swearinger, we have about 30 seconds left, but what about him? I mean, he played with the Cardinals. He's a veteran. He's just a body to come in and fill a spot with Carl Joseph out now for the season. But at least he's a veteran. Hopefully he's got some leadership skills that'll help that young defensive backfield.
Yeah, but if you look at the last two teams he played for, they have some of the worst secondaries in football, and he got cut for both of them. That's not a good sign.
Jeez, Kelly.
He's Mr. Sunshine today.
The harbinger of death.
No, I mean, seriously. I mean, the
Kelly.
Arizona Cardinals secondary is one of the worst secondaries. The Redskins secondary is terrible, and he was on both of them, and they got cut.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. A little discussion on the defense. We are live from the Stage Door Casino, the home for Raider Nation. If you want to come watch the Raiders today against the Bengals up in Oakland, come down. $1 bottles of Bud, $2 quarter-pound hot dogs, and us. Silver and Black today.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to talk to John Viscardi, who is the operations manager here. He's going to tell us a little bit about why this is the best bar to come watch the Raiders. First of all, he's a Raider fan.
Yeah.
He owns the Raider van out in the parking lot. We're going to talk to him more right after this on the Silver and Black today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
Stand by.
CBS Sports Radio. The only way to take Silver and Black today with you is with the radio.com app. Download it today and search CBS Sports Radio 1140 in Las Vegas and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
Good Sunday morning, Raider Nation, and welcome to the Stage Door Casino. That's right, home of Raider Nation in Las Vegas. If you want to come down and have a great experience, and most of all, hang out with the nation. Get here, get loud, have fun, enjoy $1 bottles of Budweiser. It's the only place in Las Vegas you can get it. You cannot get it anywhere else. $20. Okay, you can bring 20 friends and buy them all a beer. I mean, where else are you going to go?
You were going to say a family of 4, weren't you?
No, family of 20. I got a lot of kids. But yeah, so you bring them down. This is Raider Nation Bar. You also $2 quarter-pound hot dogs. If you've not had the hot dog, make sure. You might say it's a little bit early. Doesn't matter.
Breakfast
Just
dog.
think of it as a sausage, right? It's morning time. Make sure you come down and do it. And we are now just excited to be joined by John Viscardi. John is Director of Operations here at Stage Door Casino. The reason why we're here. And also, he is a big Raider fan. If you're watching the video feed, you'll see he's wearing a Derek Carr jersey.
Yeah.
He is Raider Nation through and through.
Nice.
John, thank you for having us here, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for being here. We really appreciate you guys coming down.
Well, and I'll tell you what, we did post on our Twitter feed, if you missed it, a picture of John's van, which is out in the parking lot here. It is awesome. You have to see it. It is a Raider van. And it is perfect because if you drive by, if you think, where is this? You say you're right on Flamingo, right next to Batista's, right by East of Cromwell. Where is it? You won't miss it.
Landmark.
You cannot miss this van. I mean,
should
it's
be able
really
to
cool.
see the van.
Yeah.
Tell me the story of the van. Like, what prompted you to go ahead and do that?
Well, the van is originally from the Bay Area.
Nice.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so it's made the trip back and forth from Vegas to the Bay Area several times. I don't know if I would do it again, but it definitely can make the trip. But it started out its life as just a simple delivery van being driven by a tattoo artist, and I got a hold of the van. My youngest boy, he's 13. He goes, "Dad, I like the van." And I go, "What do you want to do with it?" And he goes, "Let's make it a Raiders van."
Yeah.
Nice.
I go, "All right, then it's got to be black." It's got to be black, and it's got to be wrapped, and it's got to go full nation, right? So we did that. We jacked it up, raised it up a couple inches, put some big tires on it. And most important thing is he's telling me it's got to have chicken wings. It's got to have chicken wings, and it's got to have beer. I go, all right, well, we got to wait a little while for the beer.
Yep.
But we can do the chicken wings.
There you go. So you're raising them right now.
Yeah.
You're originally from the Bay Area, right?
Originally from the Bay Area.
Talk
yeah.
about your connection with the Raiders growing up.
Yeah, so Antioch, California, East Bay. First grade is when the team moved away. So
tough.
Hey, Raider Nation, I feel your pain.
Yep.
Right. I feel your pain. I know your pain. I get it. I understand it. The only thing now is that they're moving to me, right? So, but I can still empathize with the nation, with Oakland. To me, they're always going to be the Oakland Raiders.
Of course.
But they're going to be playing in Las Vegas. It is what it is. But
Yeah.
that's my connection.
That'll heal some of your wounds there. They're finally moving to you instead of moving away from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm showing, for those that are watching on video, I'm showing pictures of the van, and you got the special message on the back, the homage to Al Davis.
Yep.
Right.
I say special edition because I can't say it on the radio.
Right.
But people can see it on the video, and then of course the shield on the other side. So very cool stuff. So John, let me talk to you about Stage Door Casino. This place has been a long time institution in Las Vegas. The owners have been here for a long time, back when Las Vegas was a much smaller place, dating back to the 70s, correct?
Right.
Frank Sinatra used to hang out here, is that right?
Frank Sinatra would come in. Our GM has a story that over here at Bar 1, that he would come in, sit down, and say, "Give me the usual." And the usual meant a tall glass, an unopened bottle of Jack, and Randy would crack the bottle, pour him up a glass, and that was the Sinatra.
And that was it.
And we're going to bring that back.
Yes.
We're bringing that back with a promotion that's going to be debuting later this year. It'll be a commemorative bottle from Jack Daniels, the Sinatra blend, with some Sinatra glasses.
Wow.
And when you order this, we're going to play Sinatra on the jukebox.
Man, that's right in Scott's wheelhouse right there.
I love that. That's great, man.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
That's fantastic. Well, let's get back to Raiders talk and Stage Door. So the thing that when we sat down and talked about this bar, it really is. People think maybe because it's near the Strip that it's not a neighborhood bar. It is the quintessential neighborhood bar,
100%.
right? You walk in here, you feel like you're home.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a tourist trap. It's not any of that kind of stuff.
Nope.
This is a neighborhood bar. And when we talked about it, though, you said, hey, one thing for you as a Raider fan was you would go watch a Raider game somewhere else, and we won't mention where, and they would tell you to be quiet. They would tell you to keep it down.
Yeah.
And as a fan, and you're cheering on your Raiders, you don't want to sit there and be quiet. You don't want to sit there and be quiet, right?
Right. Well, I mean, it's come in and watch the Raiders play, but don't say anything.
Right.
How can you do that?
It doesn't even compute.
Maybe that works for some other teams. That doesn't work for the nation, right? We can't do that. So, yeah, it just kind of feels, other places are doing like a money grab. Here, it's authentic. We want you here. We don't want you to break your bank. We want you to come here and enjoy yourselves. We want you to bring your friends. We're not trying to shake you down for every dollar you got in your pocket. It's more important here to have that neighborhood feel, that family feel, that hey, I know where I'm going to go and I know who I'm going to see when I get there.
Yeah, and the other thing is the 10 TVs you have in here that you're going to have when the Raider game's on.
They're all on the Raiders.
They're all so no other game. If somebody comes in and says, hey, I want to watch the Falcons.
Well, there's other casinos right over here, so we're more than happy to direct you over
I love that because you're so singularly focused. So then, but the other key here, and this drives me nuts, and again, no names, but with some bars that might be a little more sterile.
Right.
You walk in and there's a bunch of games on, but you can't hear anything. Right. With you guys here, when you put the Raiders games on, including today against the Bengals at 1 o'clock, people will be able to hear the sound.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And have you had people come in and just be shocked by that because of the way things have gone here in town?
I think it's unusual. I think it's unusual. I think people they don't know what to expect. They don't know what to make of it. But hey, it's the only way to watch a football game. Right?
It is.
Besides live with the transistor in your ear.
There you go.
Now, this is great. Like, being a Raider fan myself and living in Las Vegas now, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more Raider fans coming. And it's nice to feel like, when I walked in here, like you said, I felt like I was at home.
Right.
I love being in a bar where everybody's got the same singular focus. Everybody's cheering for the same team. I grew up in San Diego as a Raider fan, so I was always in the minority. So, Raider fans all across the Las Vegas Valley, now you have a place to come down, enjoy yourself, comfortable, and like you said, you won't break the wallet.
Right.
Yeah, and so again, we are here talking to John Viscardi. He is the Director of Operations at the Stage Door Casino. We're going to be here this week, next week, and then on December 1st, people know what that game is. That's against the Chiefs. And
Raiders and Chiefs.
And you have a Chiefs fan in-house here.
Unfortunately, our assistant GM is a Chiefs fan. Now we're trying to convert her. We're trying to get her to come over to the dark side. We're tempting her. We've got cookies and beer, so I don't know what the Chiefs have got.
You got to find what's right. But so we're going to be here the next 3 weeks. That third week on December 1st, let's tell people a little bit about what you have planned, because that's a big game. It could be seemingly for the division title, maybe. Right? Depending on what happens with the Chiefs on Monday night this week and what happens with the Raiders over the next 2 weeks.
Right.
So tell everybody what you're going to be doing here at Stage Door, in addition to having Chaz here, because Chaz is a huge draw.
I'm here 24/7.
So Commissario is going to be sponsoring the whole thing, Commissario Tequila. If you don't know Commissario Tequila, I feel bad for you. Okay? But they're going to be sponsoring the whole thing. We're going to have the Stage Doorettes down here, very beautiful girls. Who doesn't like
close
football?
to Raiderettes?
Yeah, who doesn't like football and beautiful girls?
Right? That's right.
So we're going to have them down here. We're going to have, obviously, the van. We're going to have you guys. We're going to have drink specials. And two of the drink specials that we're showcasing is going to be the Silver and Black and the Black Hole.
Yes.
Right? So we're going to try to bring a little bit of that Oakland magic here to Las Vegas.
And you know what, John? No, I have not seen anybody in town with a Raider Nation themed drink. I think you guys are the first to do it.
Right.
And with the tequila and what you have, I mean, it's got black sugar, it's like knocked out. You guys have to get down here. Come down before. Get warmed up for that. Come down today. Come down next week when they go back east to play the Jets. It'll be an early game next week. So we'll be right pregame here down at the Stage Door Casino. But when it comes to Raider Nation and bringing fans in, you have a lot of different customers that come here from all over the city, all over the world. What is it about Raider fans when they come into your establishment that just brings the energy level up and the passion for football?
Raiders fans are real people, right? They're real people. They're real fans. They're passionate. not only about the Raiders, but they're passionate people in everything that they do, right? Oakland, that whole spirit, that blue-collar attitude, that bleeds over. That bleeds over. And the people that are attracted to the team, that's who they are in their soul. So, when you're talking about passion, you're talking about real people.
Yeah.
And that's Raider Nation.
That's the key word.
Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah. And that's it. I get a question a lot from people, especially when they're coming into Las Vegas, because people watch us all over the world. They listen to us all over the world on the radio.com app. They always ask, hey, I'm coming to Las Vegas. Where do I go to watch a Raider game? And up until this point, it's been hard to say because the team is coming here, and there's going to be a lot of folks who want to be in on that. But you didn't wait for that because you're genuine, you're real, you're a real Raider Nation bar. So now I have a place to send people. I have a place to send them to the Stage Door Casino, have them come down here and make sure that they're there because they're welcome here. This is their home, correct?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. John, of course, thank you for having us here. Thanks for being on the air with us. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon. What's your score, your prediction for today against the Bengals?
You know what? I don't like to.
You know?
I don't
Okay.
Like, I don't like
you got to
to
stick with your thing.
I'm not jinxing anybody.
Okay. Gotcha. I got you. But you expect a good game.
Hopefully.
Spoken like a true Raiders fan. John Viscardi, who is the Director of Operations here at the Stage Door Casino. Come on down today, guys, before the Raiders game. $1 bottles of Budweiser. The only place in Las Vegas that you can get that. Also, that $2 killer quarter-pound hot dog is available to you all the time. All right, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the Raiders and the Bengals today. You're listening to the Silver and Black Today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
CBS Sports Radio 1140 presents Four Corners Food Drive, benefiting Free Square Food Bank. From Tuesday, November 19th through Friday, November the 22nd, we'll be broadcasting live and collecting your donations at 4 Albertson stores across the valley. Craig Road in the north, Blue Diamond Road in the south, South Stephanie in the east, and West Charleston Boulevard in the west. The Four Corners Food Drive, benefiting Free Square Food Bank, is presented by Sprint, Southern Highlands, Terrible Herbst, and Finley Toyota.
There's no more passionate fans than those of Silver and Black Nation when they let loose and cheer on their team every Sunday. In Las Vegas, the nation gathers at Stage Door Casino, the Valley's true neighborhood bar on Flamingo, just off the Las Vegas Strip, east of the Crowway. Grab a $2 quarter-pound hot dog or $1 bottle of Budweiser and show your passion while catching the game on 10 TVs. And Stage Door Casino has the Valley's best liquor store with rare and hard-to-find bottles at the best prices in town. So come and join us at Stage Door Casino on Flamingo, off the Strip, where Sundays are always silver and black.
Hi, it's Sam.
Hey, it's Ash, and we're Sam and Ash, your personal injury attorneys.
An accident is incredibly stressful. Handling an insurance claim, totally overwhelming.
Also, the insurance companies have zero interest in giving their money to you, because honestly, that just cuts into their profits.
Our team is in your corner because you deserve what's right, and that's full compensation for your injuries.
So call us 24/7 at 1-800-304-2000 or visit samandash.com.
Sam and Ash.
What's right?
I saw my husband burning this fever. We had to get him to an emergency room fast.
Laura thought he had the flu and needed urgent medical treatment.
Get your pants on. We're going to the hospital. It took forever to get him out of the house and into the car. And the drive to the hospital.
Laura didn't know about Dispatch Health. High-quality medical care that comes directly to you. No getting out of a sick bed. No crazy driving to an emergency room. No endless paperwork. No hospital waiting rooms. One phone call to Dispatch Health, and Dispatch Health makes a house call.
The waiting room was packed. He was getting worse by the minute.
For flu symptoms or other kinds of common to complex illnesses and injuries, avoid the emergency room. Call 800-971-3526 to request a Dispatch Health house call. That's 800-971-3526. Medicare and most major insurance accepted. 800-971-3526.
Enough with the fees already. Bad check fees, credit card fees, late rent fees, and those huge payday loan fees. We can help and safely lend you up to $5,000 in minutes to cover your payments and avoid those fees. You don't need a checking account, perfect credit, or collateral, and It's 100% free to apply and see how much you qualify for. If you need the loan for 1 day, 1 week, or 1 year, it doesn't matter at the DLC. You only pay interest for the time you have the loan out. There are no application fees or prepayment penalties. Nothing, really. We offer small weekly payments and make it easy to pay your loan back because of our fantastic rates. Join over 250,000 satisfied customers and let us help you out. It's okay to need a loan and borrow money as long as you're getting a fair deal.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet minimum loan qualifications. To review loan qualifications, visit don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
30 seconds, 30.
Done. Okay, this is the most relaxed I've seen you. You're not spending the entire vacation working?
Nope, I've got the digital team at Intercom working for me. I know exactly where my budget's going, and I see results in real time. Intercom's a Google Premier partner, so they maximize my campaigns. I'm even on their exclusive radio.com platform. Anything digital, they do.
Can they make a Mai Tai like this?
Your full-service digital partner. Go to intercom.com. Drinks not
Stand by.
included.
Stand by.
The Wolfpack takes on the Wildcats. NCAA basketball Tuesday at 3:30 on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
You found the most in-depth coverage of the Silver and Black. This is Silver and Black Today, live on CBS Sports Radio 1140. Here's your host, Scott Gobranson.
All right, I am feeling it. Why am I feeling it? Because I am with Raider Nation at the Stage Door Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada, right off the famous Las Vegas Strip, just east of the Cromwell next to Batista's Hole in the Wall. Look for the Raider Nation van. You cannot miss it, folks. I mean, literally, you cannot miss it. Am I right, guys?
That's how I knew it.
You can't miss it.
It's the first thing I saw when I pulled up. I'm like, yeah.
It is awesome. This is a place for you if you're a member of Raider Nation. Come on down and join us. Again, the only place in the entire city of Las Vegas where you can get dollar bottles of Budweiser, 10 TVs with the Raider game on, all with the sound up. I want to thank again Operations Manager John Viscardi for joining us. It's great to hear how this bar became a Raider bar. Of course, it's partly because he is a member of Raider Nation himself.
Yep.
So let's jump in, guys, and talk a little bit about today's game and where the Raiders are in a little bit of offense. And this is from our radio.com sports analytics team. If we look at the Raiders' pass rank, so their passing offense ranks 5th in the NFL. Run is 12th. I thought that would have been flip-flop, but nonetheless, they rank 9th in red zone scoring. Offensive rank is 7th overall. Defense, these numbers are getting better. They were in the 30s. Now pass defense is 28th. Run defense 25th. D-line rank is 25th. Again, that was down at 30 to start the season, so they're improving there. And you look at the Bengals today, they rank pretty much last in everything, or near last. 30th in pass on offense, 32nd in run, the worst team in the league. Offensively, overall, 31. Against the pass on defense, 27th. Against the run, 30th. So you know who will eat today, right?
All you can eat today, Josh Jacobs.
That's right. It's like a buffet here in Las Vegas for Josh Jacobs today in Oakland with the Bengals. So he's going to go for his third consecutive 100-yard game from scrimmage. Okay. He leads all rookies with 943 yards from scrimmage. He also leads all rookies with 811 yards rushing and 7 rushing TDs. With the Bengals guys last against the run, how crazy of a day is he going to have?
Well, you would hope he would have because he's been showed up questionable earlier, but I mean, that's this time of year. You see that all the time on injury reports.
Right.
Hopefully, he has a big first half. The Raiders go up big, and you can kind of rest him. Because the one thing he didn't do at Alabama was he wasn't the main guy. He didn't carry the load.
Right.
So he's going to run into that territory that he's never had. He's never had this many carries, never had this many touches. He's never been the guy before. So the last thing you want to do is kind of run him into the ground in the season before you have the last few games to try to make a playoff push. You need to get him some rest. You need to get him some reps off.
And in this is kind of the time of the year where you see that rookie wall that they talk about. I don't know, is it 9th game, 10th game? What's your estimation on that?
It's this maybe a little later. I mean, because especially in college, if you have the bowl game, he's at Alabama, so yeah, they're playing in bowl games, but they're always late because they're for national championships.
Right, they get a month off.
Yeah, exactly. You've got 4 or 5 weeks after your final game before you play another playoff game. That's plenty of time to get rested up, plenty of time, to take off. Now it's just straight on through. So he's running into territory he hasn't seen.
Yep.
But I mean, they are professionals. They know how to deal with this. They know how to pace guys out.
Yep.
So I mean, that's why I'm saying hopefully, he will see. I don't want to, when I say limited action, it's like hopefully this game's to the point to where they can kind of pull him out. I don't want to see him on the field in the fourth quarter.
No, not at all. That's what I was thinking too. I'd really like to see the Raiders get up nice 14, maybe 17-0 lead, and just kind of cruise the rest of the game. Let the injured players have the time off. Let the younger guys, get off the field, and let some other guys get in there and just kind of finish the game off. And so it's not one of these nail biters down to the wire games that we've seen the last 3 weeks.
But here's my question for that, and I'll be the wet blanket for a minute. With the Raiders' pass defense, now I know you have Ryan Finley in there, who's a rookie, who had a pretty pedestrian game last week, although it wasn't disastrous.
No.
As a rookie goes, 1 touchdown and 1 interception, but he's a pretty good quarterback. And
no,
against
he's
that,
not.
I disagree with you. Against the Raiders.
Okay, you can be wrong all day.
No, you can be wrong. That's right. You keep going. We'll see how it goes. So here's the deal, though. You say if they're up by this many points. In the NFL today, the way the offenses are, the way the Raiders' defense is a work in progress, is there a safe lead anymore going into this game? Now, if you go into the fourth quarter and you're up by 3 touchdowns, okay, maybe I can see that. But can you afford to do it when you're a team that's right now in the last playoff spot, but you want to stay there?
Against Cincinnati, a safe lead should be 4. But, that's the thing, though. I mean, we're Raiders fans. We've seen things like this happen before.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game they need to win. This is a game they need to win by a lot. They need to end it early.
Yep.
And we all know that's probably not going to happen.
And we need to end your comments early. Oh, look at that. It's called a segue in the professional business. We're going to step aside. When we come back at the top of the hour, guys, we're going to talk to someone who knows the Bengals well, who will tell us what Ryan Finley's like.
Oh.
Kelly. And that is Tyler Dragon. He is the Cincinnati Enquirer beat writer for the Bengals. You're listening to Silver and Black Today live here from the Stage Door Casino in Las Vegas. Come down and join us. We'll be back right after this.
Bengals take on the Lions. This morning at 10 on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
We've got your Raiders covered.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
It's Silver and Black today on CBS Sports Radio 1140. And now, here's your host, Scott Gobranson.
Welcome back live from the Stage Door Casino here in Las Vegas, the home of Raider Nation in Las Vegas. Come on down, watch the game with us today. We're here till 10 o'clock, and then we're going to stick around and watch the Raiders against the Bengals. Right, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Big game for the Raiders. Keep going. Every game is big, right?
Somebody's gotta work.
You can't fall asleep on a team just because they're winless. And we are going to talk to soon here Tyler Dragon from the Cincinnati Enquirer once we get him on the phone. Guys, but you look at this game, and the one thing that you have to be very careful about anytime is just let down and making sure that a young team doesn't think too much of itself, even at 5-4, to where they lose focus and they don't get an opportunity to put a team away that they should put away inside their own stadium.
Yeah, well, we heard Mo Moten talk about it on the show last week. Hopefully the Raiders aren't reading the news clippings, and they're not getting a little too arrogant, and they come out and they stay focused. And Coach Gruden will keep them focused.
Well, you hope so. And I mean, apparently, according to Scott, anytime you're playing a star caliber quarterback,
that's right,
like the Bengals are throwing out there for his second career start, you always have to worry about that because apparently, unbeknownst to me, he's good at football.
Well, we'll see. It's his second start ever in his career, right? And he's going to learn from his mistakes last week. And I know their offensive line's a little banged up. I know they're releasing players. I mean, they're showing stats on the TV. They can't cover tight ends. They're last against the rush. There's so many things going against the Bengals today. But it's one of those things you just never know. I remember I came out to Vegas for my birthday weekend in the early 90s, and the Raiders, the Los Angeles Raiders, were playing in Cincinnati, 0-10 Cincinnati Bengals. Sure enough, they get their first win that season against the Raiders, and it's like, here we go, come on.
And that ruined your 30th birthday.
Ooh, close.
Whoa.
38th.
There you go. We are here live with the Ryan Finley fan club. Kelly Kreiner. Just kidding. No, again, we're at the Stage Door Casino. Come on down. The only place in Las Vegas to get $1 bottles of Budweiser and $2 quarter-pound hot dogs, right? But we're going to go now through the magic of the phones.
Whoa.
Or the interwebs, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to go out now on our attorney Michael Troiano newsmaker line and bring in with us live from Oakland Tyler Dragon. Tyler is the beat writer for the Bengals with the Cincinnati Enquirer. Tyler, thanks for joining us here on the Silver and Black today.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Hey, Tyler.
All right, man. Well, listen, let's talk about the Bengals. Of course, everybody looks at the record and says, okay, they're winless. You just had Andy Dalton benched in favor of the rookie Ryan Finley. New coach Zach Taylor is there. They're starting to kind of remake that roster. Where's the process at for them as you look at them halfway through this season and what they're doing and what their vision is for this team moving forward?
Well, I think they finally just looked in the mirror and realized that they are rebuilding, and the rebuilding really just started. Ryan Finley made his first start, as you alluded to, last week. He wasn't all that great. He only completed 53% of his passes, had 2 really game-altering turnovers. But anytime you make a quarterback switch like that from a veteran to a rookie, you're pretty much saying the rebuild process is on. And you haven't had your best player, A.J. Green, all season. Your starting cornerback, Dre Kirkpatrick, is on IR. So there's not a lot of good news going on with the Bengals right now, and the process of rebuilding really just started.
All right, well, we look at this. Again, we're talking to Tyler Dragon from the Cincinnati Enquirer. He covers the Bengals for the newspaper. When you look at the team, and you talked about Ryan Finley, and Kelly's not a big fan here from a player evaluation standpoint, but clearly they are going to – this is his in-season audition, right? Because they're going to have a high draft pick. So they need to see what they have with Ryan Finley and make a judgment on that. Inside the organization, though, from folks that you talk to, are they high on him, or were they not looking at him as the sort of heir apparent eventually to Andy Dalton?
They are high on him. During the preseason, he really played good football, but I preface that by
Dragon. Oh, did we lose him? Tyler Dragon. Okay, well, we have an issue there with the phone line, so we'll try to get Tyler back. But clearly, he just mentioned that with this team, and you look at what they're doing with their rebuild, that they actually like and they believe that Ryan Finley could be that guy, Kelly. Now, no, all kidding aside, evaluations by teams and players, they all have different points of view. But I think this benefits them, though. If they like him, they can put him out there right now when they're out of the playoffs. There's no worries. They're going to have to remake the roster. They're going to have to rebuild the roster. So they can throw him out there and see if he works out. If he doesn't work out, they can take a quarterback high in the draft.
Yeah, they're taking a quarterback high in the draft, and he played at LSU yesterday. Joe Burrow will be a Cincinnati Bengal next year. You can. I don't even know what the date is today at this point. I've worked so much this week. But you can mark this down. Joe Burrow will be a Cincinnati Bengal.
Yeah, but like what you talked about, with the teams, of course, right in the middle of the season, when you already know that things are going bad, you want to put in your young guys. You want to see what you've got. This is the time of the year when teams that aren't looking at the playoffs start to evaluate their young talent, see what kind of pillars they have going forward. And definitely Ryan Finley's one of those.
And of course they're going to say they're high on him. They're not going to be like, yeah, we just drafted this guy. We already know we screwed up.
We kind of had a pick.
Yeah,
and we just took him.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Well, and they said he looked decent in the preseason. We got a really long list of quarterbacks and players that look really good in the preseason and never do anything. Yeah. Why? Because it's the preseason. You look good because you're playing against guys who aren't going to be doing anything, who aren't going to be in the league.
Right. Now, I feel like Cincinnati fans have kind of already conceded the season, right? They're ready. They're already ready. They're looking for the number one. So I don't feel like Cincinnati fans, they're fine with already losing. But in your opinion, Kelly, do you think that the Cincinnati team as a whole?
Hey, Chaz, sorry to interrupt. We got Tyler back.
Oh, okay, great.
Tyler, sorry, man. We've had some phone issues today, so I apologize for that. Welcome back.
It's okay.
All right. So you were talking about Ryan Finley and the fact that they like him and what he's doing. We look at the rest of the team and the rest of this roster. They have needs at linebacker, at offensive line. Of course, Jonah Williams is injured. What do you think they're going to do, or what do they need to do to just remain competitive the rest of this year?
They need to do a lot. But running the football, that's the number one thing. Joe Mixon had his best game last season. He rushed for a season-best 114 yards. But they have not been able to run the football, and they haven't been able to stop the run. That is a recipe for disaster. Before last week's game, they were ranked last in all of football in rushing offense and last in all of football in rushing defense. So if you can't stop the run, you can't run the football, your record pretty much speaks for itself. That's why they're 0-9. Now, they did have a pretty good rushing performance last week, as I previously mentioned. So they want to keep on featuring Joe Mixon. And today, what a better place. He's from the Bay Area. He's excited to be back in the city. And his career high, actually, rushing came against the Raiders last year when he rushed for 129 yards. So he's ready to play against his hometown team.
Hey, Tyler, it's Kelly Kreiner here. The A.J. Green situation has gone from kind of strange to completely weird at this point. It started out 4 to 6 weeks for the injury, then it's day to day, now he's week to week. Now he's basically, it looks like he's not going to see the field this year. Do you see him being a Bengal next year and signing long term, or is this pretty much just a kind of a lost season and now a new team for him in the future?
Well, his ankle is still not 100%, and you don't want to go out there at 60, 70, or even 80% for an 0-9 team. You're really not going anywhere. And to push your ankle and go out there like that, that's how you can aggravate it. So with AJ, the Bengals still want him back. I believe he wants to be back. They are far apart on contract negotiations. I reported that last week. But the Bengals have the ability to franchise tag him. So if they don't agree on a deal this offseason, I'm pretty sure that they're going to franchise tag Green. Now, he does not want to be franchise tagged at all. So if the Bengals do that, they're going to be probably looking at a holdout by AJ. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But right now, they're far apart in contract negotiations. Do I see AJ Green playing this season? Probably not.
All right, again, we're talking to Tyler Dragon. He's the beat writer for the Cincinnati Enquirer covering the Bengals. And, Chaz, you got a question, right?
Well, I was just going to say, to add to your point, Tyler, if you're in a rebuild, I don't really see it necessary to pay a high-priced receiver. Even one is great, but he's kind of in the twilight of his career, right? I don't really see that there would be a need to pay a high price when you're kind of on a rebuild. But I did have a question. I was going to ask Kelly, kind of, you obviously have the pulse of the team, and we know that kind of Cincinnati fans are ready. They're already chanting that number one pick. But in your opinion, after that game against Baltimore last week, has the team kind of quit, or can they rally around Ryan Finley and these young guys?
This team is still fighting. That word is used around the locker room a lot, and they are playing for pride at this point. Obviously, we all know they're not going to the playoffs. Their vacation begins on December 29th, but they still want to be able to play for a win. They don't want to finish the season 0-9, and they are on 11 consecutive game losing streak, and that is tied for a franchise record. If they lose today in Oakland, they will break that mark because they're in franchise history. They have never lost 12 consecutive games, so they don't want to be a part of that negative history, and they do still want to try to win some football games. They don't want to finish the season 0-16, and they're still fighting and competing for Zach Taylor. Bad news is, product in the field doesn't really show that, and they just don't have the talent level to compete with some of these good football teams.
Again, Tyler Dragon from the Cincinnati Enquirer. Tyler, before I let you go, one thing I'm going to ask you, of course, you're a pro's pro, but when you cover a team like this, a winless team, it's also difficult because you have to go in, and even though you have some great relationships with people, players, coaches, everything like that, it's hard as the year goes on. How are you holding up, and how are you finding some positive as you have to cover a team that has not had a win yet?
That is a great question. I'm not naturally a Bengals fan. I'm not a fan of any team. I have to keep it unbiased. So whether you win or lose, that really doesn't change for me. I'm just covering the games, covering the practices and the stories. And, there are some positive things that happen throughout the season, even though they haven't won a game. Like last week, Joe Mixon rushed for a season high. Today, Joe Mixon's playing at home. And, a couple weeks ago, Ryan Finley got called a starter. So those are breaking news type stories that kind of galvanize the fan base and the locker room. And even this AJ Green situation, it's a new story every week pretty much, and you have to cover it because it's AJ Green. He's the marquee player on the Bengals. He's the guy that moves the needle, and he's the one that gets national attention each and every week. So there are always stories that you're going to cover, and there are good stories, and obviously there are a lot of bad stories, but it just comes with the territory.
All right, Tyler Dragon. Tyler, thanks for joining us today, man. Enjoy the game today.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, that was Tyler Dragon from the Cincinnati Enquirer. He covers the Bengals. We're going to step aside. When we come back, Chaz will have the keys to today's game, not the keys to the car. We're down at the Stage Door Casino. Come down here. Get down here. Dollar Bud. Come on. I will buy you one if you come in. Yes. All right? Come on in. Stage Door Casino on Flamingo, just east of the Cromwell, next to Batista's Hole in the Wall. You're listening to the Silver and Black Today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
Lions. This morning at 10 on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
Hi, this is Steve Wisniewski, and you're listening to the Silver and Black Today.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Today here on CBS Sports Radio 1140 in Las Vegas. We are live at the Stage Door Casino. Get down here. This is the home for Raider Nation. Look for the big Raiders van out. I guess it's not big. It's just a van.
Yeah. Looks like the old A-Team van.
Look for the, yeah, you're right. It does.
I get out here playing Hannibal.
But we are here at Stage Door Casino. It's the home for Raider Nation. If you want to come watch Raider games here in Las Vegas, this is where you come because they will have every TV on the game with the sound up. $1 bottles of Budweiser, only place in the city you can get that. Also a great hot dog, quarter-pound hot dog, only $2. Come on down, hang with us, hang with Raider Nation as they get ready for this game with the Bengals today. Okay, now speaking of the game with the Bengals today, Chaz looked at the keys to this game, and while, yes, the Bengals are a bad team, and people might say, well, what do you got to do? You still got to stay focused.
Yep.
Chaz, tell us what the Raiders need to do in order to win this game.
Still another team taking the field over there, so you got to pay attention to that. I think the Raiders, most of all, the ball control. The Raiders just need to keep doing, basically what they're leading the league in doing, and that's those long, sustained drives. Not only controlling the clock, but controlling the field position, right, guys?
Yeah, in fact, if you look at the Raiders so far in this season, the Raiders run more third down plays, 59 of them, with 5 or fewer yards.
Right.
And I haven't had a beer yet. 5 or fewer yards to go for a first down, and for more than 5 yards, they're at 52. So they're getting into, guys, third and short situations, which is everything in the NFL, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you stay ahead of the chains, like you said, keep the ball, keep the other team's offense off the field, it's a lot harder for them, to get outscored when you're controlling the clock and your offense is on the field.
Right. I'd like to see somewhere close to like a 2-1 time of possession favoring the Raiders today, and no turnovers, no giving Cincinnati a short field or easy opportunities. Just keep the ball, keep it down the field, and just put this game away early and make it easy.
Well, and that ball control is so important in that Gruden offense. I mean, that's what it's built upon, and that's why it works. That's why you see Derek Carr having a good season where he's not turning the ball over because he's not asked to do a lot of freelancing, which is big as well.
It's also important when you're facing an apparent star quarterback like Ryan Finley, because the more opportunities you give a stud like that to football, the less chance you have to win, apparently.
That's right.
Moving on, Chaz, what's the second one?
Second one contained Joe Mixon. Now, we just heard Tyler Dragon talking about Joe Mixon, and he's heading back home, and he's going to be fired up, pumped up for the game. I know Mixon isn't having a stellar year by any means, but he did, like Tyler said, he did have a breakout game last week with over 100 yards rushing against Baltimore, and Baltimore's pretty stout defense. With a rookie quarterback and a banged-up 0-9 team, the Bengals are going to lean on Mixon heavily.
Yeah, they're going to lean on Mixon heavily, but like you said, he had his most rushing yards. Well, that's what happens when a team's down 30 and they keep running the ball. He ran the ball 30 times for 114 yards.
Right.
When Baltimore's up by 4 touchdowns, they're like, you want to run the ball for 2 or 3 yards a clip and eat time? Okay. He had 114 yards, but he had 30 carries to do it. So, okay, congratulations, you got your numbers. Your team had 0 chance to win a football game.
Right, and again, that offensive line for the Bengals is pretty awful, too. They might not be as bad as some of the others, like the Chargers that we talked about last week, but certainly but Mixon can get out. Once he gets past that line, he kind of creates an open space, right? He's a hard runner, but at the same time, the Raiders are going to have to be on their game up front. That linebacking core, which is very thin for Oakland, is going to have to step up and play. Tahir Whitehead has been playing really great as that quarterback back there. He's going to have to, I think, be a guy who steps up if Mixon makes it through that line.
Right. Hey, and if Mixon gets it rolling, he can keep the game close. And in a close game, anything can happen. We don't want, the Raiders don't want to see that. So the third key would obviously is avoiding the letdown. Right. It's easy for a team to fall in the trap. Like Mo Moten was talking about, reading the headlines and seeing, okay, you got an 0-9 team coming in. And hopefully the Raiders aren't drinking that Kool-Aid and coming out arrogant and looking past the Bengals. They're not going all the way to Oakland just to roll over, guys.
Yeah, and it's like Tyler said, they have a chance to set the franchise record for consecutive losses. These guys know that in that locker room. The last thing you want to do is be known as the guy that was on the team when you set the record for most consecutive losses.
Right. That's true.
But you go back to the running game, and if I'm the Bengal or if I'm the Raiders, I'm focused on that running game as much as possible, not only because Mixon's a good runner and he can change the course of the game, but I want Kelly's favorite quarterback to have to beat me, right?
Right.
I want Ryan Finley, the kid who's only had one start in the NFL, I want all the pressure on his shoulders.
Absolutely.
Because that's when they press and make a mistake. And if Kelly's right and he's not a good quarterback, he'll make several.
Yeah, I think Kelly's right. And Gruden's going to have him focus. That home crowd energy will actually put him over the top. The Raiders, margin of error is thin for making the playoffs. They can't have too many slip-ups. And this is a game that it's just you absolutely have to have this in the bag.
No, that's a good point. They cannot lose a game like this.
Right.
Well,
it's disastrous.
I was going to say, yeah, not just for the playoff race, but just you're putting some stuff together. You're getting momentum.
Mm-hmm.
A loss like this just kills your season because you're facing a team that should probably not win a game all season, a team you should beat by 2. I mean, you should really just pound Cincinnati today. This game should be over at halftime.
Yep.
A loss like this just kills everything you've built. After coming off that long road trip, having the record that you do.
Huge comeback win.
Yeah, a loss today and all's for naught, basically.
Well, and the other thing, too, not to forget here, and, of course, they would never admit it, would never talk about it, but this is a big game for Paul Guenther. He left Cincinnati, right? But certainly when you play your old team, there's a special motivation there. Guys, how does that factor in for him? I'm sure he has got his defense fired up, and I'm sure his players – like any coach, players want to represent their coach as well as they can on a weekly basis. But when their coach's old squad's coming in, they will really want to play special, I would imagine.
Yeah. No, you hit the nail on the head right there. Old team, he's going to have his guys fired up. There's a little extra incentive for Guenther this week going against his old team. He's going to be a little more razor sharp. He's going to be a little more focused. And the same thing like Tyler Dragon was talking about with Mixon coming home. He wants to show out good. Same thing with Paul Guenther. He wants to show out good against Cincinnati.
So, Kelly, when you look at this we're focusing on the defense here, but we know the Raiders are going to run the ball. They're going to run Josh Jacobs. What else might they do in a situation where you're going against a defense, let's face it, that's just horrible? What as an offensive coordinator, John Gruden, what are you going to do? You don't want to open the playbook too much, right?
You don't have to. So I think you're going to see kind of a vanilla cookie cutter game because that stuff should work. Waller should have a big game because I was going to say Cincinnati's terrible against the tight end. Cincinnati's terrible. And I'm not
everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You don't have to go out there and the last thing you want to do is try to get too creative and cause turnovers.
Right.
You can basically go out there, run your basic stuff, and still come out with a win in this game.
Yep.
You don't want to go out there and try. You don't want to try anything. This is almost like a preseason game. As bad as Cincinnati is, you want to go out there, you want to get the win, and you want to go home.
Right.
That's right.
Absolutely. And I was thinking the same thing. Just do vanilla minimum playbook. Feed Waller all day. Obviously, they keep showing these stats about how Cincinnati can't cover the tight ends. Feed Waller. Let these injured guys rest.
There will be a Spider 2 Y banana thrown out there today.
Knock on wood.
Dude, student body right, student body left. Run. This is a game where you do not have to do anything special.
Right.
Just go get the W.
That's right. And the Raiders are a 10.5-point favorite at home for only the third time.
It's up to 12.
We're up to 12.
Yeah.
For only the third time in 16 years are they a double-digit favorite.
I think the last two times were the 2016 season, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So you can see where the Vegas line makers have them and what they believe will happen today. All right, we're going to step aside for the bottom of the hour break. When we come back, we go to everybody's Mr. Happy, Kelly Kreiner with Kelly's Corner. This is where he chooses a subject matter. Could be anything from the world of sports that's firing people up. We're going to talk about that. We're live at the Stage Door Casino right off the Las Vegas Strip. Come on down. Dollar bottles of Budweiser, only place in the city, and it is a Raider Nation bar. You betcha. You're listening to the Silver and Black today here on CBS Sports Radio, 1140.
CBS Sports Radio. This is Silver and Black Today, live on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Today here at CBS Sports Radio and streaming nationwide on the radio.com app. If you don't have the radio.com app, go download it so you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Chaz particularly likes the fact that you can take him with you in your pocket.
Yes. Let's go.
We are live from the Stage Door Casino. This is the home. I mean, there's no question this is the home for Raider Nation. If you want to come down and watch the Raider games, we are also streaming. I'm going to show you because John brought us one of their hot dogs. I'm going to show this on the video feed if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook. Look at that hot dog, dude. That's
so
huge.
good.
That's awesome. It's so good. $1 bottles of Budweiser, the only place in Las Vegas where you can get that. So make sure you come down for the game. Come down and watch the Raiders play the Bengals. We have Raider fans here already, and we want to get you down here. Look for the big Raider van in the parking lot. You can park in the parking lot. There's a parking lot on the strip. That's difficult. You don't have to pay for it, which is awesome. But we're happy and just excited to be here at the Stage Door Casino. We'll be here the next 3 weeks. So next week, as the Raiders take on the Jets at 10 a.m., we'll be here for the early game. Kelly, you'll have to get out of bed again. Right, Kelly?
Maybe.
It's always a game time decision.
I was going to say I'm always day to day at this point.
All right, he's going to be here, and then of course December 1st, the big matchup with the Kansas City Chiefs. We will be here. We got Raider on Chief violence happening.
How'd she get in here?
Only. She only runs it.
Where's the security?
That's what I heard when she worked here. I'm like, oh man, that's bad. She's gonna get fired on the show.
But we're here, and that Chiefs game again. They're gonna have specials. They're gonna have the Stage Door-ettes here, so you're gonna have some beautiful ladies if you want to come down and hang out, as well as their regular specials. So make sure you do that. Stage Door Casino, the quintessential neighborhood bar here in Las Vegas. So we have them ready to go for us now. This part of the show is where Kelly will come on, and he takes a story at random or something that's bothering him in the world of sports, or actually anything. But this is randomness. He chooses something. We don't necessarily know about it until showtime, and he comes in and talks about it. Doesn't mean it's Raider-related. Doesn't mean it's football-related. And I think today it's not, but we love discussing it just because it is part of we're all sports fans. So, Kelly, here's Kelly's Corner.
Yeah. Today's it's sports in general because this will encompass all sports, but you're just seeing it more now with what's going on with the Houston Astros. You know, we all grow up, we're told, cheaters never win, cheaters never prosper. Well, by the time you're about, I don't know, a teenager, you realize that's a lie. Cheaters win and prosper all the time in sports, in life, everywhere. So listen, I'm going to give everybody a little bit of advice on how to cheat, okay?
All right.
Don't send emails when you're describing to your players, your employees, or anybody else on how you want them to cheat. The Astros, apparently, according to The Athletic, there's now an email trail of the Astros who are being accused of using technology to steal signs, which is against Major League Baseball rules. One of the former Astros players came out, basically said, yes, we were doing this, here's how we were doing it, here's when we started. And when you go back and look at the timeline of this, not surprisingly, their home record gets amazingly good right when they are supposedly stealing signs. If it's just a disgruntled player, hey, no problem. Hey, we didn't re-sign the guy. He's just trying to get us back. But when you have an email, a paper trail of something like this, that's just more evidence to go against you. Yeah, technology's nice. Emails, text, everything, it makes it easy. But if you're going to tell somebody to cheat and break the rules, that's a face-to-face right there. That's when you need to just bring them into your office and be like, hey, all right, here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it. Don't tell anybody. And for God's sake, don't write it down and send it to the entire office.
Well, and as an attorney friend once told me a while back, and I've always let it sink in, email doesn't stand for electronic mail. It stands for evidence mail, right? So if you want to send something, or if you're doing something that maybe you shouldn't be doing, look what happened to Tiger Woods. Whoa, with text, right? You have to be careful. But you're right about the cheating, and this happened in the NFL with technology with the Patriots, right? the Raiders fans' favorite team, the New England Patriots.
The Patriots,
with video,
the Patriots would never do anything
No,
wrong.
no.
Come on.
No.
And
So-
but that's more proof. You look at Julian Edelman's PED suspension, Ben Watson's PED suspension. They don't care about the first 4 weeks of the season. Yeah, go get all juiced up in the offseason, get healthy. We want you in week 16 in the playoffs.
Right.
Screw the first 4 weeks. We don't care if you're here or not. Take the suspension, get healthy, get right, get strong, and we'll play you at the end of it.
So what's the end game with the Astros? They do a full-on investigation. Can they vacate that championship, or how does that work?
That's the funny part about it. Who cares if they vacated the championship? They got the championship. They got the ring. They got the celebration. They were there. They
Right.
won that championship. If you take it out of the quote-unquote record books, nobody cares. Everybody knows they won the World Series.
You're a Michigan guy, right?
Yeah.
So the Fab Five?
Yeah, guess what? They made it to a Final Four.
Twice.
Or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care what you say.
The banners can't
It's on
hang up in the rafters?
That's like John Calipari always jokes around about how many games he's actually won because they have to vacate the Memphis wins.
Yep.
Guess what? They won those games.
They won them on the court. There's no doubt.
I won't even go into that old crap
Well, you
about
did
how
that-
the NCAA clears a kid, you play him all season, then after the season's like, oh, no, wait, we decided he can't play now. You cleared him before the season, before he played a game, and then after the season you come back and say, well, we're taking that back. I'm like, really?
But
Good job.
here's the thing. To me, when you catch a team like the Patriots or like the Astros now in baseball doing something so egregious. Now, let me say this first. I coached baseball a long time. There's nothing wrong with stealing signs. It happens all the time. We tried to do it all the time. But when you use electronic means, different story, right?
Yeah.
Because then it undermines the whole organization and the use of technology in the game, right? But you can't punish vacating titles, taking away wins, taking away draft picks. I don't think that's enough.
Well, but there's really nothing you can do that's going to be punitive enough to take, because they have, and it's not just the video side. It's not just the video. They're also doing something with their pitchers because every single pitcher that goes to Houston, the spin rate on their changeup, their curveball, their fastball, everything skyrockets. That's not just because of the humidity in
coaching?
Houston.
Oh.
So they're doing something with the baseball to increase that spin rate, but that's just nobody even talks about that.
Deflate
But
game.
yeah,
Why not? If you have, and if it's true what the Athletic reported today about the Astros and having these emails, should those people not be banned for life from the game?
Are you talking about the people in the front office? Are you talking about the players who are using the sign?
Everybody
'Cause
involved.
That's where it goes. Because everybody involved is the players on the field.
Right.
You're never going to be able to get that through. I mean, that's the whole thing. You can fire a scout. You can do something else. But then the scout's going to come after you and say, hey, my employer, this is what I was told to do. They're going to sue the Astro. I mean,
but here's the thing. Whoever used the electronic means to steal the signal, or signs, I should say, that to me would be the person. So if, for example, when the Patriots were videotaping people, right?
Okay.
Those people who were filming. Now, the organization know, did the coach know? Yes. Okay. But you have to find something. And I'm just throwing it out there because I don't know. Yeah, a guy who's making minimum wage.
A guy making $28,000 a year is going to tell Bill Belichick, I don't know if I should do this, coach. I think this might be illegal. No, that's never going to happen. If your employer,
it doesn't matter if it's never going to happen. It should happen.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If that guy gets fired, the next guy is going to do the same thing. You're
right,
not.
But
You're not going to stop
that. That doesn't
because-
absolve him. It doesn't absolve him.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is you're never going to stop it. So what's the point of having a punitive thing like that to the guy who they're just going to find another guy to do the exact same thing?
So then my question to you is, in the NFL and Major League Baseball, NBA, whatever, what do you do to curtail cheating?
Oh, I don't think there's anything you can do, and
There's got to be something.
No, because everybody's going to find a way to try to win. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter.
It's a professional.
Any edge they can get,
right?
Because you see what happened to the Astros. You see what happened to like Louisville with the whole recruiting stuff. What was
Across
going
the board.
Yeah, I mean,
On and
every
on and on
sport
and on.
you're always going to find a way to win because the means will justify the ends.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why, if you listen to me, you're going to get away with more. No paper trail, no emails, no text messages. We need to go back to the face-to-face. It worked in sales back in the day. You need a face-to-face when you're going to try to have somebody.
Come down to the
Here's how we're
Stage Door Casino, have
Yeah.
a cocktail face-to-face.
Yeah. That's right. Here's how we're cheating. Here's how we're going to do it. Have a good day. It takes 5 minutes out of your day.
Yes.
That's
why I like paying cash for things, too.
100%. No paper trail.
That's right. All right. Well, speaking of cash, before we step aside for a break here, again, want to remind you we are live at the Stage Door Casino just off the Las Vegas Strip on Flamingo and Link, right east of the Cromwell next to Bautista's Hole in the Wall. Come in, $1 bottles of Bud. We are about to have a Budweiser ourselves.
Yeah.
Cold. You can't get it for $1 anywhere else, folks. Not only that, again, the most important thing, it is a Raider Nation bar.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, right, Chaz? They ask
Where
you
do we
too.
go? Where do we go watch the games? We're in Las Vegas. Where's the Raider bar? I can't believe more places haven't embraced the Raiders coming already. What a great job we're doing here at the Stage Door. I mean, we're right in the shadow of the Allegiant Stadium.
Right down the street.
I mean, you look right in between Bally's and the Bellagio, and there's the stadium right here. You come
And-
here for your pregame, you tailgate, and then you head over to the stadium after.
Well, technically, we're not in the shadow because
Well, when the sun gets over there, in the shadow.
In the evening.
The afternoon shadow.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Sun's right there, brother.
I don't know.
But I will tell you also that our man Eddie's here. Eddie is
Eddie.
building the stadium. So even men and women building the stadium are here at the Stage Door. Come thank him for building you this palace that's going to be the home of the Raiders. All right, we're going to step aside when we come back. We're going to give you our picks, our NFL picks for the week, as well as our prediction for the Raiders game. You're listening to the Silver and Black today, live from the Stage Door Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Don't go anywhere.
Wildcats. NCAA basketball Tuesday at 3:30 on CBS Sports Radio 1140.
You found the most in-depth coverage of the Silver and Black. This is Silver and Black Today, live on CBS Sports Radio 1140. Here's your host, Scott Gobranson.
Welcome back to Silver and Black Today, the home stretch. We are live from the capital of Raider Nation for Las Vegas.
Yes.
That is the Stage Door Casino. If you're a Raiders fan, you want to watch the game on 10 TVs with the sound up, with a loud bunch of silver and black clad Raider fans, and you have to get down here, look for the Raider van in the parking lot, just east of the Cromwell, right next to Batista's hole in the wall, across from Bally's, however you want to look at it. It is a great location. It's easy to get in and out of, no problems whatsoever, and most importantly, it is, again, a Raider bar, so make sure you get down here.
I just inhaled one of those hot dogs.
Dude.
That was delicious.
No, that's the other thing, too. $1 bottles of Budweiser, the only place in the city to get it, and then the $2 quarter-pound hot dog we were just eating
Man, that's
when we
a
were
good
off
dog.
the air. Wow.
The tasty dog.
Good stuff. Now Kelly's second-guessing his decision not to have one.
Yep.
No, he's not.
Oh, no.
You're too tired. You're too tired.
Dude, yeah, I'm going to bed right after the show right now. So last thing I need is a beer and a hot dog.
All right. Well, we are now going to move to the portion of the show where we talk about our picks. We always give you guys a little bit of NFL picks for the year, or I should say for the week, as well as our Raiders picks. So we're going to start with our NFL picks, and we're going to start with Kelly first.
Speaking of, just like the Raiders, I got a text from a friend of mine. The look-ahead line for next week, the Raiders are a 3.5-point favorite at the Jets.
Oh, wow.
He's like, when's the last time the Raiders were a 3-point favorite?
On the road.
3-point favorite on the road.
Yeah.
I'm like, obviously, I don't. I mean, I've got that at home.
I think 2016 they were favored.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I have no idea, but that's just a sign of that. Hey, there's.
I was thinking that. I was actually thinking 4.5.
Yeah, there's a little more. There's a little more people and liking the Raiders.
We're gonna be doing the Dak Prescott dance.
All right, Kelly, give us your picks.
For my first pick, I'm taking Tampa Bay plus 5.5 against New Orleans. The fact that Lattimore's out, there should be a ton of points scored here. Yeah, that's a good call. I like your pick there, Jess.
All right.
And my second pick. I think the Tampa Bay game is going to be really, really fun. Great game to watch. So I'm doing a complete 180 on that one, and I'm picking a game that will probably be really bad to watch and crap. I'm taking the under 41 on the Rams and Chicago game. There's a pretty good chance that I won't even watch this game.
How can you not watch? The Bears.
You can't. Well, I understand why. Chaz, what do you got for us, man?
Well, I got the Bucks, and I feel like every time we've been in, anytime you guys give your picks, I try to switch off to a different pick. But I'm kind of late this week, so whenever we've had the same picks, we fared really well, except for the Seattle game where they should have kicked that field goal and the Bucks would have covered.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the Bucks plus 5.5, and taking the Broncos. I'm going with the Bees plus 10.5 in Minnesota. And, of course, I'm a big Dolphins fan today. I'll be a Charger fan Monday night. I was a Browns fan Thursday night. Whoever's playing the teams ahead of us, get them out of there so the Raiders get in the playoffs.
All right. Okay, so good. That's good. You guys had the Bucks the same pick. I have the Colts -3 against the Jags.
You realize Jacoby Brissett's...
I do.
Okay.
I do. Stay with me. And then here's one you'll love. I have the Jets plus 1.5 at Washington.
That line stinks.
I need to get out of here early.
That line stinks so bad.
Where's the closest sports book?
I wouldn't bet that with your money. I mean, how do you bet on Washington?
Oof.
But it's one really, and I mean that's
it's basically a pick 'em.
We could sit here and flip a coin for a half hour.
Well, no, but they're basically saying Washington's a better team because I mean it's at Washington.
Right.
You figure the hypothetical 3-point home field. They're saying Washington's a better team than the Jets, and I think that's just ridiculous. So that line stinks to high heaven. I wouldn't touch that with anything.
Something going on there.
That's why I took the Jets, because I think the Jets are better. They have better quarterback, more stable quarterback situation.
They're begging you to bet the Jets.
Yeah.
Yes.
That guy sees ghosts.
Yeah.
And I am. All right, let's move on to the Raiders game. We're going to give you our predictions. I'll start, guys. I have the Raiders 34.
Oh.
The Bengals 21.
You have, I forgot. Ryan Finley's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So he's obviously going to score 3
That's
touchdowns.
not what I said. You Hunter Renfrow hater.
Still, I don't know where that comes from.
It doesn't. We're just giving you crap. All right, so 34-21. I think they put up 21. I think they're going to be able to get a couple here and there. That's what I'm thinking.
How?
We'll see.
Garbage time. That's kind of how I factored it in.
Don't worry about my pick. Let's hear yours.
I've got 31-13 Raiders.
Okay, so
nice.
Your one touchdown difference. Okay.
No, but I'm 2 field goals though. I mean, that's the thing.
True. That's true.
You have them scoring, getting in the end zone 3 times.
Yeah, turnover, something happens.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If they get 21, there will have to be a defensive score in there because I don't see any way possible this Bengals offense, led by the great Ryan Finley, can score 3 touchdowns.
I think this is going to be the slowest game. I mean, the fastest game as far as time goes. The Raiders just going to eat up that clock, right?
Yeah.
It should be a
Cincy trying to run the
2.5 hour game. Cincy's going to try and run the ball because that's all they got. So it's going to be a really quick game. Not a lot of scoring. Maybe I've got the Raiders 28-17. Same thing. I got Cincinnati scoring a touchdown in garbage time just to kind of mess with the line. Other than that, I just expect like a slow, grind it out, clock running game. Raiders, just those long sustained drives, It's just going to
wrap it up. All right. I have to say it verbally. All right, guys. Good times here at the Stage Door Casino. Let me tell you, next week we'll be back here 8 to 10 a.m. again. And in the house will be Raiders alum Roy Hart. He's going to be here next week at the Stage Door Casino, the home of Raider Nation in Las Vegas. We thank John Viscardi for having us out here. Get down here, watch the game today. $1 bottles of Bud, $2 quarter-pound hot dogs for Kelly Kreiner, for Chaz Osborne. I am Scott Gilbranson. Until next time, we'll see you guys. Take care.
Sign up today for a new